This week, drones are used in the arrest of home invasion suspects. Plus, an arsonist sets fire to several cars and an apartment building. And
you took away my brother, you took away a friend, an uncle, a son.
A hit-and-run crash claims the life of a pedestrian. Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. Here are the crimes across the 5 boroughs. We begin in Brooklyn Navy Yard, where a Venezuelan migrant was fatally shot. The New York City Parks Department employee accused in that shooting is now charged with murder as a hate crime.
Authorities say the Parks employee worked at Steuben Park where the shooting happened. Good Day's Lizette Nunez is at that park. It's in Clinton Hill, Brooklyn, with the latest on this investigation. Lizette, what do we know?
Hey, good morning, Dana and Shoshani. Well, it's no secret that people stay and sleep at this park, and that was the case for the victim, who was a Venezuelan migrant. According to investigators, there was some kind of argument between the park's worker as well as the migrant days before the shooting happened, and now this is being investigated as a hate crime. A New York City Parks Department worker has been accused of shooting and killing a migrant. Seasonal employee Elisha Mitchell has been indicted on charges including murder as a hate crime. Prosecutors say last month the victim, 30-year-old Arturo Jose Rodriguez Marcano, a Venezuelan migrant, was sleeping inside a tent at Steuben Park. Investigators say Mitchell cleaned the park for work and allegedly went on a rampage, yelling and ripping off tarps because he was angry that migrants were staying there. That led to an argument between the suspect and victim, where Mitchell allegedly showed a gun in his waistband. 3 days later, investigators say Mitchell returned and shot the victim in the chest. In a statement, the Brooklyn District Attorney says this defendant allegedly came to the location where the victim was staying armed with a gun to settle a score. This premeditated and cold-blooded homicide is outrageous on many levels, not least because the alleged motive was hatred towards new arrivals to our city. That night, another deadly shooting unfolded in the same area just hours apart. According to police, the suspects were riding on mopeds and opened fire outside a migrant shelter in Clinton Hill, killing 2 people. Investigators initially thought the 2 acts of violence were related, but police have since made separate arrests in each case. And Elisha Mitchell, the suspect, he could face up to life in prison if he is convicted. His next court date is October 23rd.
We now go to Douglaston, where the NYPD used drones to capture the suspects in a terrifying home invasion.
A family in Queens say they were held hostage in the middle of the night during that invasion. Fox 5's Lisa Evers has more on how drones are the latest high-tech tool for police.
Residential neighborhoods in northeast Queens were on edge after a terrifying home invasion in Douglaston early Saturday morning. Police say 3 Cambria Heights men broke into the home and held 8 people, 3 of them children, hostage at gunpoint. One woman escaped carrying her 1-year-old baby and called 911. Officers from the 111th and 109th precincts, along with the emergency service unit, secured the perimeter.
We deployed our drones up to act as a second layer of eyes. The suspects, they didn't want to give up. They jumped out the back window.
Commissioner Daughtry says the drone video allowed them to track the escaping suspects' movements in real time and capture them. Police do not believe this was a random home invasion. Some of the officers involved received commendations from City Council member Vicky Palladino.
The rapid response of our officers and the deployment of this technology made all the difference.
The 3 men arrested in this home invasion are now facing charges of kidnapping, robbery, burglary, and other felonies. If convicted, they're looking at the possibility of more than 25 years behind bars.
Up in the Soundview section of the Bronx, the NYPD is hunting for an arsonist who set 6 cars and an apartment building on fire.
Police in the Bronx looking for an arsonist tonight.
That's right. 6 cars and an apartment building door went up in flames, and authorities say it was intentional. Fox 5's Jessica Formoso has the latest on the injuries and the investigation.
Multiple surveillance videos caught the man not only setting 6 cars on fire, but the front door and lawn of an apartment building. Residents here are in shock and worried that this man is still on the loose. This is the moment the arsonist dumps gasoline in front of the apartment building on East 174th Street off St. Lawrence Avenue in the Soundview section of the Bronx. Seconds later, you see the flames inside families. Police say a 2-month-old baby was taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation. We don't know why he did it. It's dangerous and concerning. What was his reasoning behind all this? This could have resulted in a tragedy. But minutes before, just up the block, authorities say the man set 6 cars on fire. Luigi Salcedo says he arrived at the scene at 2:15 in the morning. I found the fire department here. When I got here, I was shocked when I saw all the cars set on fire. His smart car burned to metal, a total loss, and he has no car insurance. The person who did this needs to pay. Video shows this man sitting outside the barber shop. At one point, he looks at the camera. He has something in his hands, gets up with the canister, pouring gasoline on all the vehicles, and then the flames.
I hope they catch the guy who did this, because they don't deserve this.
And the question remains why. Police are still investigating. They are asking anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers. That number, 1-800-577-TIPS.
Over in Queensboro Hill, the NYPD is looking for 2 women they say were involved in a hit-and-run crash that left a pedestrian dead.
Police searching for 2 women who they say took off after being involved in a deadly crash this morning in Queens.
Officials say a U-Haul truck collided with a Honda sedan, killing a 56-year-old man. Fox 5's Jessica Formoso is live in Queensboro Hill with the very latest tonight. Jess?
Natasha and Steve, this was a horrific crash. You can still see over my shoulder there the crime tape. Now 2 cars collided, killing a man who was crossing the street. We spoke tonight to the victim's friend, who tells us his friend David was one of a kind.
You took away my brother. You took away a friend, an uncle, a son.
Michael Abate mourning the loss of his friend, 56-year-old David Andrew Opila.
Out of control, you all came, took him out and the pole, and then hit the divider.
Police say Opila was struck just before 12:30 Tuesday morning when a U-Haul truck and a Honda sedan collided near the intersection of Horace Harding Expressway and Casino Boulevard. The crash happening across the street from this mobile gas station.
He's crossing the road, and that time is another car, U-Haul car coming, and they hit him.
The vehicles jumping the curb right at the moment Opila was crossing the street. The driver of the white Honda, a 42-year-old man, stayed at the scene and was taken to the hospital in stable condition. But police say 2 women, the driver and passenger of the U-Haul, took off running barefoot through the streets of Queens.
You have something to do with it. You should do the right thing and turn yourself in.
Abate says his friend was either coming or going from the market like he does every day. He lived in this neighborhood for years and says he was always careful when crossing this busy intersection.
Very friendly, jubilant, bubbly personality.
And police have not made an arrest yet. They are looking for those 2 women. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number is 1-800-577-TIPS.
Down in Soho, a 71-year-old man was punched repeatedly on a New York City subway platform.
City police are asking for your help in finding the man they say was involved in a violent subway attack in Soho.
So police say this man, 71 years old, approached by the suspect, punched him several times in the face. It happened on August 10th inside the Broadway Lafayette subway station. The man, who was 71 years old, suffered cuts and bruises to his face. Do you know who this guy is? If you do, please call Crime Stoppers, 1-800-577-TIPS.
Up on the Upper East Side, a 52-year-old man was stabbed in the neck while inside a subway station.
One man is recovering after being stabbed in a subway station. Now, this happened just after 3:30 this morning at the 90th Street Lexington Avenue station on the northbound 4 train platform. Police say a man stabbed a 52-year-old man in the neck. No word on the motive. The victim was transported to New York Presbyterian Cornell Hospital in stable condition. Police are still looking for that suspect.
And finally, we end with an announcement from Mayor Eric Adams, who praised reduced crime numbers in the city just hours after the aforementioned stabbing.
Meanwhile, police are looking for the guy who stabbed a man in the neck on a subway platform on the Upper East Side.
This is Mayor Adams is saying that, at least according to statistics, crimes are down in the subway. Good day's Briella Tomasetti is live outside the subway station on the Upper East Side with the details on what sounds like a contradiction right now.
Yeah, Kurt and Rosanna, good morning to both of you. You can't always go by the numbers. This stabbing happened yesterday morning. Just last week, 2 teenagers were stabbed on a train near Times Square. So the frequency of these attacks has New Yorkers thinking, is crime really down? Well, Mayor Adams says, yep, that's the case, even on mass transit. Police have released new video of a suspect wanted in connection with a subway stabbing on the Upper East Side. Take a closer look. He's seen here exiting through a turnstile in a green shirt, red pants, and dark-colored sneakers. According to the NYPD, the stabbing happened just after 3:30 yesterday morning at the 96th Street Lexington Avenue station on the northbound 6 train platform.
Yeah, the feelings of definitely of anxiety and just kind of worry have been heightened in the past couple of years.
I mean, I think the city needs to get more of a view of what's really going on. We really do need officers to patrol the subways.
The suspect allegedly approached the 52-year-old victim and struck him with an unknown object, slashing the right side of his neck. The victim was taken to New York Presbyterian Cornell Hospital in stable condition. Less than 24 hours after that slashing, Mayor Adams took a victory lap over the drop in subway crime.
We've been successful in driving it down for 7 straight months throughout the city in a row, particularly on our subway system. And it's just impressive when you look at the fact that our robberies are the lowest in recorded history.
That's not all. Adams says 17,000 guns have been taken off the streets and 900 illegal smoke shops have been shut down since he's taken office. But recent violent crimes, including a string of muggings in Central Park believed to be carried out by migrants living in city-run shelters, are interfering with the public perception of safety.
Chief of Department Jeff Madry put a team into Central Park that includes more foot patrols, more bike patrols, which are very useful in the park, and more mounted units, officers on horseback. We have deployed a mobile command center near one of the park's main interests.
Mayor Adams was also asked yesterday about a recent uptick in assaults on women. He said that a lot of people involved in those specific incidents are people battling mental illness. In late 2022, Adams announced a plan to get people with mental illness off the streets, but if you recall, that plan drew major criticism.
That's this week's Crime in the City. Subscribe for more at youtube.com/Fox5NY.